Recently, I confronted a situation in my daughter's school where there was some concern raised about the propriety of certain statuary from the Renaissance that depicted Jesus with Mary. I'm thinking specifically of the Pietà. And the claim there was that Jesus, this depiction of Jesus was a violation of the second commandment. And this is a question that has come to me here that I want to respond to. Does the second commandment prohibit the viewing or creating of images of Christ? Or is it specifically related to the prohibition of worshiping these images? Well, let me just read it to you, because my wife and I, in wondering about this issue that came up, decided just to read it. And this is always a good idea when there's some biblical concern in view, to go back to the passage and look at the exact wording. And here's what Exodus 20, verse 4 says. You shall not make for yourself an idol or any likeness or picture of what is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. Verse 5, you shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. Well, I just want to make a couple of observations here. If this commandment prohibits pictures of Jesus, it prohibits pictures of just about everything else, in heaven, on earth, or in the water. So this has ramifications far beyond any Pietà. This has ramifications for any characterizations of the likeness of Jesus in any of my daughter's Bibles, and there are many of them. And not only that, but a whole host of other things. As I look around the room, I see a bust over here of someone. I see other characterizations. There's birds, there's flowers. I have some photos of fish, so that might be considered under the sea that I caught. I don't think that's what's in view here. Certainly it's a prohibition against worshiping these things, and I think with Israel it's gone further. Israel was not to make these images for the purpose of worship, and because other cultures around them were making these images and for the purpose of worship. So those types of images that someone would make of heavenly things, earthly things, or things under the sea that are characteristically used for worshiping, they are not to worship those things, and they are not to make those kinds of things. I do not think this rules out art, representative art of all kinds of different things, including art of Jesus, because that goes way beyond what anyone who wants to advance this argument against images of Jesus regarding the second commandment would be willing to do. But it strikes me as an all or nothing thing if you're taking it in that way. There is also, I think, another concern here that has to do with Christology, because this doesn't say that you can't make an image of God. It says you can't make an image of anything high, low, or in between. But it certainly would include any image of God, and people think, well, Jesus is God. If you make an image of him, that's an idol. And this comes up sometimes in films. There's an image on the film screen. So, I mean, wouldn't it also it would include any plays in which Christians watch, in which someone plays Jesus, because the only difference between the movie and the play is one is on film and the other one you're watching it live. So, but the depiction is the same. You can see all the difficulties here. But there's another difficulty. If I have my Christology correct, Jesus is one person, two natures. The divine nature is uncreate, the human nature is create. That is, when you see the human body is a created thing, and if the created thing can't be God, when you're looking at the material body, you are not looking at the stuff of God. So a picture of Jesus is not a picture of God. Now I want to be careful here, because there is some debate as to how the divine nature influences the human nature of Jesus and how it's divinized, but I think what I've said so far is safe. That is, since the body itself is created, then the body itself cannot be the eternal God. Therefore, making a picture of the body is just that, a picture of the body, not a picture of the divine nature. So there are a whole host of reasons why I think this application of the second commandment is not legitimate. It doesn't say don't make a picture of God. It says don't make a picture of anything in heaven or on earth or in the waters. Secondly, Jesus' body is not God. His divine nature is God. I think when we understand this in the historical context that it was given, it was meant to prohibit the making of objects of veneration of any kind, and also venerating them. The art that we have around here and the films that I've seen with Jesus, etc., are not objects of veneration. Not for us. I do think in some religious traditions that's what they become. These physical objects become objects of veneration, and in that regard, I think that's a violation of the second commandment, at least the spirit of it. And those things shouldn't be done.